Hey friends, welcome to or back to my channel. My name's Abby. I am a busy mom of 6 and foster mom, and today I wanted to come on here and share with you a little bit about the paperwork that is necessary in foster care, as well as taking your foster child to the doctor. Now, this is not the paperwork to become a foster parent. I have another video about licensing our home, and you should check that out on my channel as well. I'll see if I can link it down below. But this is the paperwork that happens, like, you've got a child in your home, you're just doing your regular monthly, weekly, all the things you do, and this is what you have to do. I filmed a small clip, headed out to the doctor yesterday, and then mom life, I got busy and never finished the video. So here we are to walk through it today. So I'll insert that now and we'll go from there. Welcome back to my channel. Good morning, y'all. Foster mom Abby here, and I'm gonna talk to you about what it's like to take your foster children to the doctor, all the things you need to know, all the things you need to bring, all the paperwork you need to fill out, because it can seem daunting and it is a lot, but once you just get a little bit of practice and have someone walk you through it, it's not so bad. So we have our checkup this morning, especially when children are in foster care. They are on the Health Steps program with Medicaid, so they have to get checked up depending on their age, a certain number of times per year. When you get a new child placed with you, you have the 3 in 30 medical visit, or 3 in 30 medical visit requirement. So I'm going to talk you through what that looks like, but let me get these babies unloaded and get inside with my mountain of paperwork. I honestly find it easier just to bring my whole binder of foster care paperwork. That way, if there's a med log they need to see, or the actual doctor paperwork they need to fill out, or they ask for placement paperwork again, or medical consent paperwork, I have it all, but it's in a giant binder, so I just carry it in a giant Aldi bag. Okay, while we're talking about going to the doctor, when you receive a placement, they are automatically enrolled in Superior Medicaid. That is here in Texas. It's Foster Superior Medicaid. And there's a program called 3 in 30. This is meant to establish care quickly and efficiently and to make sure all the child's needs are being met. Depending on their ages, it is very loud in here. We might have to film this in a minute. 3 in 30 is a collaboration between DFPS or CPS here in Texas and the Superior Medicaid program through the health department in Texas to ensure kids get the care they need. Every foster child, unless there's some requirement waived for whatever reason, has to get a medical exam within 3 days of being placed in the home. That's your 3-day medical exam. Nothing crazy can happen at that medical exam. You can't vaccinate, you can't do any of those things. This is really just them being laid eyes on by a physician to make sure that everything is okay and sort of start to establish what their needs are. Secondly, every child, depending on their age, is going to need a CANS assessment. If you're taking infants or very young children, that could be waived as well, because obviously you can't psychologically assess an infant. But for, I believe it's children 6 and above, that is an automatic requirement. You also have to have a dental visit within 30 days for any child 6 months of age or above. On top of that, you have to do your regular well child visits, and depending on the age of your child, it could be either annually or more frequently if they're under the age of 2. Of course, as a foster parent, you are the medical consenter. You sign that paperwork when you take placement. That means you are in charge of making all medical decisions with the doctors for the treatment of your child. A very important part of that is making sure that they are regularly assessed by the doctor for whatever needs they may have. In my agency, there is a form called the 2403 that has to be filled out for every doctor appointment. It is a DFPS form, and it is 9 pages long, and you take it to the doctor with you every single time. They also ask you to attach a copy of any visit summary to that and submit it to your agency and your caseworker for any doctor visit. As you can see, this can become cumbersome, but it is super important to help track the child's medical necessities, medical progress, and cross all your T's and dot all your I's. So every medical visit, I have to fill these things out. They do require physician signatures, So you need to have them printed out to bring to the office with you. The office should be very aware that any prescriptions, any orders, or any visit summaries also needs to be done and printed out for you to turn into your caseworker. Additionally, a minimum standard is to fill out a med log every month. I have my med log here. It's a 2-page document front and back. Any medication I give, from a prescription to Tylenol, ibuprofen, gas drops, whatever it is, has to be documented on this paper with our initial. Anytime state could come in and check you, anytime your agency could come in and check you, that needs to be filled out daily as you administer these medications so that you are in compliance with minimum standards. That is just something we do as foster parents. We keep a binder on our counter with all this information, and we continually update it. Another piece of paperwork that's important as foster parents, and I'm not sure if this is just a my agency thing or if it varies by agency what it is that you're submitting, but every month we're responsible for filling out what's called a child status report. Those are due on the 5th, and those basically just are a 7-page document that you document anything that's happened that month, any good behaviors, any medical events, any visits with family, anytime you used respite care, fun things that you did as a family or entertaining things the kids did, how they're doing in school, how they're doing in any ECI or therapy services. It's a pretty comprehensive document where it is your job to kind of detail sort of the day-to-day or week-to-week things. And I think that although this can be cumbersome, it's super important for continuity of care when these children leave our home and head into either another foster home, back to biological families, placed with kinship. There's a good paper trail for what's been happening in their life, because you may or may not get to talk to any of these people whenever they leave your home. So it's really important that you are documenting, and I really find that it's a kind of a CYA thing for foster parents too, to be really, really thorough on their documentation so that if there's ever any questions, any accusations, anything like that made, you have everything right there. Additional paperwork that could be required is anytime you acquire new clothing, items, possessions for the children, you have to update that paperwork. Anytime there's an incident in the home, which could be as simple as big brother throwing a block and hitting little brother and scratching somewhere on his body, that is a minor incident report. You also have major incident reports for things like hospitalization. Like if your child had to be hospitalized for some reason, you have to call that into the hotline. You have to document it on a 3-page document. The really important thing to note is that all we're trying to do with all of this paperwork is to make sure that everyone involved in the children's case, their biological family, the guardian ad litem, the CASA workers, the caseworkers, the family service workers, everyone championing, I can't say the word, for these families and these children need to be able to have a picture of what's going on. And you as the foster parent are the day-to-day caregiver. You're the front lines. So it's up to you to recognize and document these things and to adequately be able to convey that to the other partners in the caregiving team. It is not the best part of foster care, but it is a very essential part. And I know that it helps keep our children as safe, healthy, and happy as possible by being able to document all the necessities and getting them quick access to the things that they need, and also protecting yourself as a foster parent to make sure that legally you've done everything that you need to do. It kind of falls into the same category as like doctors, nurses, schools. If it's not documented, it didn't happen. So I probably over document, but I find that that has served me well for the past 5 years as being a foster parent. I know it can vary by state, region, agency, but I just thought it would be helpful to share my experience with you. And if you have any questions, I'd love to hear them in the comments down below.